Hello and welcome to day 11 of our journey to read the Bible every day for 1 year in chronological order. Today we are going to read Job 29 to 31. Job, I grieve for my former prosperity and honor. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God preserved me, when his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness. As I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. When I went out to the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street. The young men saw me, and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. The princes refrained talking, and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me, because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not I searched out, and I brake the jaws of the wicked, and plucked the spoil out of his teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited and kept silence at my counsel. After my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. So here we can see exactly what I said yesterday. He still wants to go back, or he doesn't understand, or he doesn't want to live a life that is different from the one he had before, because he was everything a man could be on earth. Like, everything was perfect for him, everything worked out for him, and he had all of his I don't know, all of his, well, he had everything you could have in physical things, in materialistic things, and also he was wise and he was kind and he was respected by everyone. He was seen as someone above other people. He was seen as something special. And now that everything is turned around, he doesn't understand why this is happening, because he didn't do anything wrong while having everything he needed. I don't know if you ever felt this way in your life, because there is something that a lot of people are saying about high school years these days. They are saying that, oh, you peaked in high school, which means that essentially your best time and you are respected in high school. And after that, the job that you got was not that special. It was not great. Your life wasn't great after that. You weren't popular. You didn't do really something out of your good beginning in high school, which means that, well, you were great in high school. After that, you did nothing with your life, even though you had the best possibilities after that. But sometimes also when you peaked in high school, this means that maybe you haven't had the best grades. You were just popular and a lot of people liked you. But again, in life, most things are about connections. So you had possibilities to make something of yourself. And even though this is far from what Job experienced, but it's like a parallel that we can see, see also in today's age. So for a lot of younger kids, well, young adults, it's hard because they think that, well, I was so great in high school, I want to go back to high school. And some of the people who went to high school, well, they are sad and they they are really happy that they're not in high school anymore, because they were just sad and miserable, because everything is about popularity in most high schools these days. But again, it's still something that Job has to think about. Even this is also why Satan said, well, God, you can take everything away from him, and then he won't be the man he was before. Again, he's still the man he was before. He is still a righteous man, but in the same time, he still longs for the respect that he had before, even though no one really changed their ways, because we don't see that anything changed. But he's dwelling in his sadness, so he doesn't even know if it's maybe still the same. Because even if you are sick, it doesn't mean that the respect is gone, or because you lost everything, the respect is gone. Maybe they have pity on you. Yes, this could be something, but again, you're still respected for the person you are, because he was also a righteous man, not only because of all of things that he had. So I'm going to write next to it. Job misses the respect he got. But even more, I would say, but even more, the feeling of being special. because he longs for the feeling that he is God's righteous son, if I can say it like that. It's he longs for also being looked at the same way as he thinks of himself. Job 30. I am an object of ridicule, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have sat with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks, among the bushes, they braid. Under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viller than the earth. And now am I their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhor me. They flee far from me, and spare not to split in my face. Because he hath loosed my cord, and afflicted me, they have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth. They push away my feet, and they raise up against me the ways of their destruction. They mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation they rolled themselves upon me. Job, I am being punished by God. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. By the great force of my disease is my garment changed. It bindeth me about at the collar of my coat. He hath cast me into the mire, and I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me not. Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to the wind, thou causest me to ride upon it, and dissolvest my substance. For I know that thou wilt bring me to death, and to the house appointed for all living. Howbeit, he will not stretch out his hand to the grave. Though they cry in his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? When I looked for good, then evil came unto me, and when I waited for light, there came darkness. My bowels boiled and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons, and a companion to all owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. My harp also is turned to mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. So here, I also wanted to note that here in Job 29, I forgot to mark this one. And when by his light I walked through darkness. I am also going to when God preserved me, when his candle, so he said, when his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness. So here I didn't really understand why he said that, because even though he isn't preserved by God anymore, as he said, he still has a candle upon his head. And that's the thing that he doesn't understand. That's the thing that also we don't understand, that even though we are sad and we are grieving and we are miserable, God still has his candle shine upon his head, upon our head. And so that we can still walk through darkness. And this is also, for me, a sign of God and a sign of hope. Because it won't go off. Because that's another color. I really have to write it down which color I used, because here I'm getting confused again. So here we have the color of hope. We took yellow for this one, and for God it was blue, but it was a lighter one. And now I'm not even sure if it's this one or this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think so. So I wanted to say that this is even the darker one. It was this one, yeah. I wanted to say that it's also a sign of God, because through his power we become the light in the darkness. And since we are the light in the darkness, it's also a sign of hope, because this means that God is still shining down on us. God shines down on us. And then here I wanted to say here, when I looked for good, then evil came unto me. No, didn't here. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? And here it's a really important part for me also, because when something bad is happening, I always think about all the good things that I did or how kind I think I am. And then I think, then I pray to God and say, why are you doing this to us or to me? Because we are kind people, we did that, and you are still mad at us or punishing us for something. And then I think to myself, am I only kind to appeal to God, or to say that I was a kind person, that I was a righteous person, and that you shouldn't do something like this to me? Then I always think about this, because I think about, am I really a good person, or am I just a good person to be able to tell someone that I'm a good person? I hope that you can understand what I mean. But when I read this, when I looked for good, then evil came to me, and when I waited for light, there came darkness. And did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? Why did I mark this one? Was the wrong line, the wrong verse. But also, nothing is by accident, right? So let's read the verse 26 again. When I looked for good, then evil came unto me. And when I waited for light, there came darkness. So this probably means that, okay, now I know why God made me mark this part too, because when I looked for good, then evil came unto me, which means that when you are trying to be good and you are trying to walk in the path of God, the evil is coming to see you, because he doesn't want that to be your path, because he wants you to fail and to not get to heaven, to not get to God, to not find the truth, because he wants the wickedness of the earth to how can we say it, to drown you in it. The enemy wants to drown you in his wickedness. So I'm going to mark this actually in the color of evil, because I think this is a really important thing to think about. Because when I looked for good, then evil came unto me. And when I waited for light, there came darkness. Which means essentially that you try to walk in faith, but someone is putting different challenges in front of you, but it's not the challenges of God and of him testing you in your faith, but it's from the evil and from, well, I don't want to say his name, but we all know who it is. that He wants to keep you in this wicked earth and not above it, not in heaven, right? So again, for the part that we read before, did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? I'm going to write next to it what I said before. Are we kind so that we can say we're righteous? Question mark. And I'm going to mark it as society, maybe. Or did I have a color for questions? I don't know. Let's just put it in the color of our society. But that's also a personal question from me, because I really want to know if I'm doing things out of the goodness of my heart, or just because I want to be able to stand before God and say, I did all of this, and now it's my rights to get into heaven. I don't know. I really need to pray about this, I think, because it's a question that I asked a lot. Job 31. What sin have I committed? I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of God is there from above, and what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is not destruction of the wicked to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if I'm foot hath hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. If my step hath turned out of the way, and mine heart walked after mine eyes, and if any blood hath cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let another eat, yea, let my offspring be rooted out. If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her. For this is an heinous crime. Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. For it is a fire that consumeth to destruction, and would root out all mine increase. If I did despise the cause of my manservant, or of my maidservant, when they contended with me, what then shall I do when God riseth up, and when he visiteth? What shall I answer him? Did not he that made me in the womb make him? And did not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fatherless hath not eaten thereof? For from my youth he was brought up with me, as with a father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let mine arm fall from my shoulder blade, and mine arm be broken from the bone. For destruction from God was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness I could not endure. If I have made gold my hope, or have said to the fine gold, Thou art my confidence. If I rejoiced because my wealth was great, and because mine hand held gotten much. If I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, and my heart hath been secretly enticed, or my mouth hath kissed my hand, this also were an iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lift up myself when evil found him, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin, by wishing a curse to his soul. If the man of my tabernacle said not, or oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgressions as Adam, by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom, did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me, that I kept silence and went not out of the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. Surely I would take it upon my shoulder, and bind it as a crown unto me. I would declare unto him the number of my steps. As a prince would I go near unto him. If my land cry against me, or that the furrows likewise thereof complain, if I have eaten the fruits thereof without money, or have caused the owners thereof to lose their life, let thistles grow instead of wheat, and cockle instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. So this was Job 29 to 31. I already said all that I was thinking while reading this chapter. So I hope I see you tomorrow, and I would be happy to hear your perspective on these two verses that I was talking about. So have a great day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.